Hey, Bill. Hey, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you, BLG. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, everybody, for just giving me the opportunity to come in and speak to you guys today. Want to first start by introducing myself. My name is Brad Castro. But before I'm a CFO, before I'm a business leader, before I am anything else, I'm a beloved son of God. That identity shapes everything in my life. It shapes how I lead, it shapes how I build, and it shapes how I steward the opportunity God places in front of me. Scripture says it in 1 John 3:1. See how very much our Father loves us, for he calls us his children, and that is what we are. We are not working for identity. We are working from identity. And because we are his children, we are called to steward well what he has placed in our hands. Now, in my professional life, I serve as a CFO of a multi-state towing and recovery company here in the United States. My background includes private equity, real estate, and operating businesses across several industries. But over the years, I've come to understand something very clearly. Business is ministry. Leadership is stewardship, and influence is responsibility. Another verse that guides my life is from Luke 12:48. To whom much is given, much will be required. We are living in a time unlike any other. Tools that were once limited to a small few are now available to anyone with access to the internet. Knowledge is no longer restricted by geography. And when technology is placed in the hands of faithful leaders like you guys, it becomes a force for multiplication. In this video, I want to show you something practical. I'm going to demonstrate how conversational AI, specifically with ChatGPT, can help pastors, business leaders, and ministry teams prepare messages more efficiently, summarize meetings with clarity, create actionable plans, communicate more effectively, and operate with greater excellence. Now, don't get this twisted. This is not a replacement for prayer. This is not a replacement for wisdom. This is a tool, one that supports the calling God has already placed on your life. My prayer is that what I share with you today increases your capacity and expands your impact. Now, this is not, if you guys are movie buffs or like American film, this is not 1984 Terminator, where Skynet takes over. This is not that. This is, yes, artificial intelligence, but it's GPT, generative predictive text. This is a computer who has basically a wide range of knowledge, and can predict the next best word. Um, all of that to be said, it's a great just tool to be used. So I'm going to bring her into the conversation. I'm going to be bringing it from my phone over here. And we're just going to kind of have a daily conversation. I'm going to do it both from pastor's perspective, business perspective, and then even tie my family back into this as well. Um, Hey, I have started the class here. I've got everybody on. Can you go ahead and give a warm greeting to everybody? Let them know kind of who you are, lightly, what we're going to be doing. And can you do it in Liberian Pigeon for me?
Yes, of course. Hello, my people. I greet all of you today with joy. My name is Brad Castro, and I dare here to guide you as we explore some tools and knowledge today. We go talk about hope, technology, and how we fit to use them for our life and ministry. So make we start well, and I dare happy to be with all of you.
Awesome. And for Bill and I, since we don't speak Liberian Pigeon, what'd you tell him?
Of course, I told them that I was really happy to be with them today, that my name is Brad Castro, and that I'm here to guide them as we explore tools and knowledge, specifically around hope, technology, and how they can use these things in their lives and ministries. So basically, a warm welcome and a heads up about what we're going to cover.
Hold up, hold up. You're not Brad. I'm Brad.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad that helped. If anything else comes up, whether it's more prep or you want to refine something, just let me know.
No, you're not Brad. I'm Brad.
Ah, right. My mistake. Thanks for clarifying. So if there's anything else you need or any adjustments to the class, just let me know. I'm here to help you keep everything on track.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the ministry aspect of this. So, in church lately, we've been speaking on hope. And I think hope is definitely something that resonates with everybody, specifically the hope that we find in Jesus. And I'm going to be leading a sermon this Sunday. I want to go ahead and put together 5 verses around the theme of hope in Jesus, or really just hope in general. Can you go ahead and find me 5 verses from the Bible?
I found several powerful Bible verses about hope in Jesus. First, 1 Peter 1:3 says we have a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus. Then Romans 15:13 talks about God filling us with joy and peace so we overflow with hope. And Romans 5:2-5 reminds us that hope grows even through suffering because God's love is poured into our hearts. I can give you more if you'd like, but those would be a great start.
Yeah, those are a great start. Let's go ahead. I want to build a common thread throughout this message, right? Let's go back for me specifically. Let's talk about when I had cancer, and how do we tie that into this message structure? How do we tie, those almost seemingly impossible obstacles that are put in front of us and still hold on to the hope of Jesus?
That's really powerful, and I think it's crucial to keep it personal and honest. You can structure it like this: start with the reality of suffering, acknowledge that, like when I faced cancer, those moments felt impossible. Then tie in Romans 5, that hope doesn't ignore pain, but it grows stronger in the middle of it. Use 1 Peter 1:3, the living hope we have because Jesus conquered death. And Romans 15:13, God doesn't just give us hope, he fills us so we can overflow. By being vulnerable and honest about your journey, you show that hope in Jesus isn't just a concept, it's a lifeline that held you even when things looked impossible.
This is beautiful. All right, I always like to tie in, the youth ministry from the adult ministry because sometimes the message that we give at the adult church is just, over the heads of the kids. Tell me something that we could do with either these verses or maybe a parallel verse that we can be teaching to the children at the same exact time, and maybe even a lesson plan or an activity that we can do with them.
I love that idea. For the kids, we can simplify the concept of hope as trusting God like a good parent who takes care of us. A great parallel verse is Psalm 71:5. For you have been my hope, sovereign Lord, my confidence since my youth. For a lesson plan, we can have them make a hope rock. Each child decorates a small stone with a symbol or word that reminds them of God's hope. Then, as a group, we talk about what hope means to them, so they have a simple physical reminder they can keep close. That way, the kids connect to hope in a way they can feel and remember.
I love this. And this really ties into what Bill's been teaching you guys about those big stones, those things that you're laying down, those hurts in your life. And so we can kind of flip those hurts on their head. And hey, we even talked about earlier, a hope jar, maybe something that the kids could write down little messages of things that they're hopeful for and put those things in a jar.
Exactly. I think that would be a perfect tie in. After the kids decorate their hope rocks, we have them each write a note, maybe a dream, a prayer, or something they're waiting on God for, and put it in a jar. Then we can explain that just like we put our hope in Jesus, we also keep those hopes close to our hearts. And when God answers, we can take them out and thank Him.
Love
It's a
that.
beautiful way for them to connect, and it gives them a tangible practice of trusting God for their future.
Perfect. Hey, what was the first scripture that we referenced?
The first scripture we referenced was 1 Peter 1:3. It talks about how we have a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's a great anchor for the theme of hope we're building on.
Okay. Now, in the original text of the Bible, what language was that?
Good question. The original text of 1 Peter was written in Greek. Like much of the New Testament, it was composed in Koine Greek, which was the common language of the time. So that's the original language we work from in translations.
Okay. And just because I love the history of it, can you give me that verse in Greek?
Absolutely. In Greek, 1 Peter 1:3 says, Ευλογητός ο Θεός και πατήρ του Κυρίου ημών Ιησού Χριστού, ο κατά του πολύ αυτού ελέος, αναγεννήσας ημάς, εις ελπίδα ζώσαν, δια Αναστάσεως Ιησού Χριστού εκ νεκρών. It's a beautiful, rich expression of blessing and hope through Christ's resurrection.
Love that. That is beautiful. Is there anything that we maybe miss in our translation that really is expanded upon in that Greek translation?
That's a great point. One of the things that stands out in the Greek is the richness of the phrase katatopoli eleos, which means according to his great mercy. So the Greek really emphasizes the immense, abundant nature of God's mercy as the foundation of this hope. The English translation is accurate, but the Greek really draws out the depth of God's grace that is overflowing into this hope in Jesus.
Man, that's beautiful. Okay. Yeah, and I don't need you to be the author of the sermon. I'm just loving that you're helping kind of build the blocks that I'm going to take for this sermon. And then also, helping me put that into, a lesson plan for the kids, and go on from there. So that's great. Hey, thank you so much for helping me with that. Let's move on to the business people in the room. You and I discussed earlier a meeting that I had with a couple people in my office. Can you kind of give me a rundown of the action items from that meeting?
Absolutely. So, in that meeting, we had three main action items. First, Mike, the operations manager, is finalizing the cost report and will identify any inefficiencies. Second, Don, the office manager, is adjusting the staff schedule and reviewing accounts receivable. And third, Amber, the dispatch manager, is drafting a new dispatch protocol. We also set a next meeting agenda, reviewing these updates, looking at performance metrics, and planning next month's goals. Let me know if you need any adjustments.
Perfect. No, I think that's good. After this, I'm going to have you help me email, create an email for me to everybody with the action items, create an agenda for next week as well. Um, and then anything else you think that I need to do after that meeting to make sure that the tasks get accomplished?
That sounds great. Once we draft the email with the action items and agenda, I'll suggest a few follow ups. For example, you could set a reminder midweek to check in or create a shared document so they can post progress updates. That way, everyone stays accountable and we have a clear timeline to keep things on track. Once you're ready, I'll help you draft that email.
Perfect. All right. Another thing, this day's kind of gotten away from me today. I'm going to give you a picture. Actually, I've already uploaded the picture for you of my refrigerator. Not much in there, but hey, can you make a suggestion for what I can cook for dinner tonight? I want to take some of the load off my wife and help take care of that tonight.
Of course, I see what's in there. You've got some chicken, a bit of salad, milk, eggs, and pasta. What you could do is a simple chicken and veggie pasta. Saute the chicken with some garlic and a bit of olive oil, boil the pasta, and toss it all together with a little cream or cheese. Quick, easy, and it keeps things light.
Awesome. Hey, and I just want to kind of send a family text message, let everybody know, hey, Dad's got dinner tonight. Make sure everybody's, home and at the table at 5:30. Can you just put together a little family text message and I'll send it out?
Of course, here's a simple one you could send. Hey family, just a heads up, Dad's making dinner tonight. Please make sure you're home and at the table by 5:30. Love you all. See you then.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much. I don't want to take up all their time today. Can you go ahead and just kind of say goodbye to everybody in their native language, and just kind of give them just not necessarily inspiration, but just kind of a little nudge of encouragement to utilize AI.
All right, my people. I could just talk small before we close. I thank all of you for your time today. Make una remember say AI na tool way fit help us grow. We just need wisdom to use them well. I go dey pray for una. May God continue to lead us as we explore this. Take care, and I do wish you well.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for your time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end that there. Everything was done just through my phone, through the app. There's a little portion down here. You just click to talk, go download that on your phone. But I'm going to also show you here what the application looks like on the computer. So you can kind of see over here. Um, I've got this Liberia class. Everything's over here from Bible study questions, creating some Bible characters, just kind of everything I've been discussing recently, opportunities. And so if you look here, I kind of put everything by um, by what I'm doing. Um, I think this is right. Um, and even down to logo creations. If you guys create a business, you want to create a logo. I mean, the limits to AI are really limited by your creativity. So it's an amazing thing to be able to do. So if I go back here to the Liberia class, I can come in here and say, hey, can you give me the meeting notes to email my office? And right here, you're going to go ahead and see um, subject line and then the email, action items for Mike McKnight, my operations manager, Don Perry, my office manager, my dispatch manager, and then the agenda for next week. And so, just very quick, I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just got on recording with her earlier and just kind of said, kind of everything that was going on. And then, that text that we talked about. Um, just said, how about the text? Send a text message out to the team. And then, we'd even talked about earlier that hope jar. Um, let's see. Actually, I'll just show you guys what I did earlier on it. Um, I asked it to just kind of create me a little image here that I can put on the hope jars. So something you could print out if you guys do have a printer. Uh, if not, just some ideas on what to use it for. So, guys, this is again just kind of an introductory level. Don't be scared of it. It is a fantastic tool to use. I pray that you guys, go utilize it and really start to use it as a force for multiplication for you, for your ministry, for your businesses. Again, Bill, BLG, thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity to come and speak with you. Love you guys. Can't wait for the day to be able to come there in person and meet you and talk more about this or really whatever you guys want to. So thank you again for the opportunity. We'll talk soon.